Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today is going to be my review of the brand new Uncharted movie. The film follows a young Nathan Drake played by Tom Holland, accompanied by Victor Sullivan played by Mark Wahlberg. Very interesting casting choice. I just want to talk about that right off of the bat. I'm a pretty big fan of the Uncharted games, so when they announced that Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg were going to be playing the main characters, I was a little bit concerned, I'm not gonna lie, but after watching the film, I think watching Tom Holland kind of develop into Nathan Drake did happen for me, but maybe only about halfway into the movie. The first half, I totally just saw him as Peter Parker. A lot of the same mannerisms, a lot of the same dialogue, the high-pitched, like, oh crap, like that kind of stuff. He definitely said, like, the same stuff in this movie, and it was really hard to differentiate him from Spider-Man to Nathan Drake. But I am happy to say about halfway through the movie, I did kind of see him in a new light, and I do think he could be a good choice for Nathan Drake because I think they definitely want to make a trilogy out of this Uncharted series. And by that third Uncharted movie, maybe he's going to be a little bit more grizzled, a bit older obviously, maybe have a beard, and look a little bit closer to the Nathan Drake that we know and love from the games. So if you think about these films like that, like this is essentially the Nathan Drake origin story. Then we're going to have the second movie where he's a little bit more established, and then by the third movie, he's probably going to be like the Nathan Drake from the games. I think if you think about the movie like that, then you'll probably enjoy it a little bit more because you're definitely not going to go in here with the prime, like, game version of Nathan Drake, that's for sure. But I do think Tom Holland did a really good job. His stunts were good. His acting obviously was pretty good as well. The script wasn't the greatest though. Like, a lot of the dialogue in there just wasn't the best, but he did deliver in my opinion. Like, he tried to make the best out of the script that he was given. But I do like him as Nathan Drake, but I also think it would have been nice to have, like, an older actor play him. But I am excited to see him develop into the Nathan Drake that we see in the games. Now, the next character I want to talk about is Mark Wahlberg. This was one that I was a little bit disappointed with. He's one of those actors, kind of like The Rock, where he's essentially just playing the same person in every movie. Very minimal differences between a lot of his roles. And this movie is no different. Like, realistically, if you took the Sully name right off of that character and just said it was Mark Wahlberg, I would believe you, because he's literally just playing Mark Wahlberg in this movie. Like, he's got the same mannerisms, the same style, and this was one of the things that initially concerned me when watching the trailer. I was like, I feel like he's just going to be playing Mark Wahlberg in this movie, and that's pretty much true. And the one other thing that I didn't like about this character is the way that he meets Nathan Drake. I'm not going to spoil it, of course, but it was just way too quick. Like, they needed a lot more time to get to know each other and then become partners, and in this film, they essentially just meet somewhere and boom, the adventure starts, and I didn't really like that. Antonio Banderas played the main villain of this movie, and I think he did a really good job. Very, very menacing, and the performance from him was just overall really good. He was a stereotypical, like, Uncharted villain. It's very hard to stray away from that. Essentially, almost every Uncharted villain is going to be someone that is just after the same treasure that Nathan Drake is after, and obviously Antonio Banderas' character was after the same treasure as Tom Holland. But I do think he was really menacing, and I would have liked to see a little bit more from him. He does do some pretty nasty stuff because he is a villain, of course, and I like the way that his character tied into the main story. It has to do with his family's lineage and everything, and I thought it fit really well with the main theme. Now, I just want to say I really wanted to like this movie because, like I said, I really like the games, but I feel like this movie was very mid. Like, it had nothing that really separated itself from other action and treasure movies. Like, you could have easily labeled this something other than Uncharted and just said it was a generic action-adventure treasure hunt movie, and there would be essentially no difference. Like, what I wanted from an Uncharted movie was a unique style and a lot of nods to the games because obviously that's the source material, and unfortunately we didn't really get that. It just felt like a generic movie with Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg in it playing iconic characters, and I really hope that if they get a sequel, they really find a unique way to tell the story. Other than that though, the action was pretty solid. I heard some people complaining about the choreography of the fight scenes, but I personally like them. It did have the fantastical where they're kind of like swinging around, doing flips and doing all this crazy stuff, but there was a lot of just basic fighting, which I prefer. Like, I prefer non-shaky cam, just, you know, someone kicks someone in the chest, then punch to the face, like just basic stuff like that where you can feel that impact. I prefer that over like shaky cam, backflip, 360, no scope, kick to the jaw. Like, I don't really like that kind of stuff. But overall, I would say the action parts of this movie were pretty solid. The main story overall was just decent. Like, it was just nothing special, nothing over the top. They played it very, very safe with this movie, and I kind of understand why. Like, it's the first film. They didn't want to risk it all. They just wanted to play it safe, see if they can make a lot of money, and then just greenlight sequels. And I understand that, but I really wanted them to take a real risk with this movie and try to make something special. But they did not. And one other thing that I want to almost like complain about in this review is that there was just too much stuff in this movie that was just way too convenient and happened too quickly. A lot of people just meet out of nowhere very quickly to help progress the story. There's a lot of pickpocketing in this movie too that doesn't really make a lot of sense. Like, some people will be standing like 2 feet away and then they just magically steal something from someone else. There's also another part of the movie where they're trying to solve some kind of clues to lead them towards the treasure. It was just too convenient. It was just something that was like right in front of them. They figured out how to read it and then they were like, okay, there we go, let's go get the treasure. And when they do get to the treasure, which you do see in the trailer, it's those 2 giant ships. It was very anticlimactic. Like, I didn't think it was going to be like that because it looked like it was going to be a really grand reveal from watching the trailer, but they essentially just show up and it's just there and that's it. No complex puzzles, no riddles, no traps, no nothing. They just show up and it's right in front of them and then, you know, final fight scene. And granted, it was a really good final fight scene with the 2 boats and all that in the air, but since this was a treasure hunting movie, I wanted it to be a more grand reveal for the treasure that they've been hunting for the entire film. And instead, they kind of just stumble across it. It's right in front of them and there you go. Just too convenient for me. I wanted it to be a lot more difficult to find. Like, the path leading up to finding the treasure included a whole bunch of different stuff. And normally in films like this, once they are right about to find that treasure, there's a ton of other stuff that they have to deal with in order to actually get it. And this movie just eliminated that. They just, you know, did all the hard stuff and then just boom, it's right there and done. So yeah, that's the one other negative that I had with the film, but overall I would say it was a good time. It's nothing special, like I was saying. It's a very generic action-adventure film, and I would say if you're someone that didn't play the Uncharted games, you would probably like it more than someone who did, because if you're someone like me that played all of the games, you just can't help but compare the games to the film, and it doesn't really do it justice. Like, in the game, everything is just so intricate, it's so real, and in this movie, it's just not up to par with any of the games, which I knew obviously the games were going to be a lot better than the movie, but I was hoping for a lot more from this movie. If I had to give a rating to this movie, guys, I would probably say this is a 6 out of 10. It's not horrible, it's not amazing, it is just bang average. It's something I would definitely watch again, maybe like a year or 2 from now, on a rainy day or something, you know, just toss Uncharted on and there we go. But this is not something that I would buy on like a 4K Blu-ray or anything like that. So guys, let me know down below in the comments what you guys thought about the Uncharted movie. Did you like it or not? Let me know. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you like and subscribe. I'm planning on doing a lot more movie reviews, and my next one should be The Batman. I have tickets for the fan screening on March 2nd, and I am just so excited to finally see that movie, and I'll let you know my thoughts once I see it. But for now, that's the end of the video, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys all have a great day, and I will see you guys in the next video.